tonight's program. Today is going to be all about spiritual masters. And yesterday, we all heard that His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj, he left this planet, and it shook the ISKCON world and others who knew him. And, it makes us wonder, the relationship we have with spiritual master, it grows and grows. And suddenly when news like this comes, there's deep sadness. Have we lost them now? Are they no longer communicating with us? All these questions come. And it's somebody you didn't know in your life first, and then you get to know them. And when they leave, it hurts the deepest. It's an amazing phenomena. And so tonight we have Vidhu Prabhu, who is the temple president of Coventry Yatra. We're just going to talk a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes about this event, how it shook us to hear what happened. So Vidhu Prabhu, what were your feelings yesterday when you heard the news?
Hare Krishna to everybody. Yes, yesterday actually was a very sad day for myself and Vidurani personally. About 2 years ago, we were actually in Ujjain, and we were very fortunate that Maharaj was actually present there. Being a leader of so many projects around the world and so many disciples around the world, his visits to Ujjain, which is his base, are infrequent. So I think it's about twice a year he comes there. And we happen to be very fortunate to be there at the same time. We were there for about a week, and for 5 days he was there. And he was so kind to make so much time for us, even though he was so busy. So I was impressed by the Ujjain project. Very well managed by him, and continuous management headaches he has. What lovely devotees they were. So for me, those memories came flooding back yesterday. So it was a very subdued day for me yesterday.
But prior to that, Maharaj did come to Coventry a long time ago. You remember we had that football play about, there was a World Cup or something. And then Maharaj came, he really enjoyed the play.
Yeah.
He's the Vyasas and very relaxed. So I remember he enjoyed the Coventry dramas. And how did you find him? Did you find him strict looking or gentle soul or?
Oh, no. Bhakti Caru Swami. I mean, there are other sannyasis we know who are like, their character nature is a stern one, and not Bhakti Caru Swami. He's a very approachable person, very approachable, very amenable. And, as I said, he makes time for people.
Yes.
He makes time for people. And that struck me.
And, when he spoke, I mean, we went to Botswana and when they had their opening and another time as well, I think, in the new temple. And Maharaj was, I think, one of the speakers. There was Jayapataka Maharaj and Bhakti Maharaj and, Pundrik Maharaj as well. And then we had to ask Maharaj to speak impromptu about something because there was some audience and there was some time. And Maharaj, was so relaxed. But what was coming out was Siddhanta. And his links with the points he was making was so smooth. It's like you and I are talking now. It's not scripted, but it all is meaningful and deep. I was really overwhelmed by it, as if, he had written the script and he was just reading it so relaxed. And I just told him, Maharaj, we got about 10, 15 minutes. Could you, talk to the audience? And he did, and I found that he was gentle, and yet he looks vulnerable because he's tall and, like the American God brothers and everyone. So he's very gentle and his walk is very gentle. But he was Siddhanta. And I remember when he gave initiation in Leicester, he asked all his disciples, male ones, that you have to shave your head at least for this ceremony. So although he speaks very gently, but he was strict with it, like what the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta is. I mean, what else do you remember during the discussions? Like, something stuck you? I mean, the Ujjain project itself, all the spiritual, plus he's got other workshops and things. Maybe you could tell people how
I think he's thinking of having a good base for that yatra. Was very far-sighted. He knew that the larger the temple, the more regular income you need. So let's not kid, fool ourselves about that. Temples need regular income.
Yes.
Just like our households, we need regular income for all the basic things. So he knew that, and so he set up different projects whereby he supplies a need for the devotees around the world, and through that, it generates income for the temple. The devotees are engaged in some lovely services, like he's a stitching room. He set up a whole large stitching room so the devotees can stitch dresses, not just for their own deities, but for other devotees around the world for their deities. He set up a workshop where they make altars. They make altars for people all over the world.
Big ones, yeah.
And that's the main reason I went there, to look at the workshop and have a discussion with the people working in the workshop. Because we ourselves are expecting a delivery of an altar, pretty soon. So that was my mission. So it was such a bonus that Maharaj was actually there when I went there.
And our parampara, which is on the altar, small one with the nice seats and things like that, that came from Ujjain as well. I think they make them there, don't they?
Yes, yeah, and it's many temples have that. Many temples have that. It looks so good on our altar. I'll be honest, when it was first suggested, I had little reservations, but when it came, I was very happy with it. It looks really good.
Now I'll ask you a question. I mean, we'll be starting, shortly with the rest of the program. And how do you think it might seem like an obvious question in Ujjain, because you went there, and your uncle is also initiated by His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj, and we experienced that loss ourselves. What would be going through their minds? Like, it's only happened yesterday. How would they be feeling, for the future, you think, with all the projects and how to go on? What do you think, just your feeling?
It's I met a lot of the devotees there, and I saw the dedication to Prabhupada's mission. Ujjain project is Bhakti Caru Swami propagating what Prabhupada wants from his disciples. So he initiated the project. I think those devotees are strong devotees. I say very strong devotees, dedicated, level-headed, and the different departments have been set up nicely. I think, of course, there'll be pain. There'll be pain, but I think that they are competent and capable enough to take the yatra forward. Definitely, but they had to go through this period of darkness, as it was said by Gaura Maharaj. He says, when a spiritual master leaves, everybody just stay steady in what you're doing. Don't do anything radical or knee-jerky. Just stay steady, and until this darkness is over. It'll be over after some time, and then you can do take some more more ambitious goals.
And we mustn't forget that Maharaj also had disciples in South Africa, in the States, in Europe, UK, the Manor, Leicester, so that's why they had to travel so much. I mean, that's why he took this journey to Florida, and his classic speech before going, he says, a leader can't hide. He has to go and be with his, disciples. And so he made the journey, and he almost predicted the danger. And then he faced it, and we all prayed, and people did yagyas and prayers, and we all were hoping it's going to turn out, that Maharaj will stay on. And big leaders were also doing worship and praying. I mean, if I was not in, spiritual person or something, could I say that those prayers got an answer, do you think? Or how would the optimism come in understanding this event?
I
After
think,
doing so much.
yeah, I think we devotees must always learn to surrender to Krishna's plan.
That's it.
Krishna has a plan we don't understand. We don't know what that plan is. Even Srila Prabhupada, in later years, our devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what is your vision for the future? And Prabhupada said, you will not believe me if I told you. Because Prabhupada had that the Shakti, that vision of what the future would bring. So we don't have that. So we have our desires and our needs, and our prayers are based on that. That Maharaj, don't leave us. Then Krishna has his plan. He's got a bigger plan. So we may not understand it. It may hurt us, but we need to leave it to Krishna to see us through.
And another question I have is, like, people have in ISKCON, there's many gurus and disciples. They have disciples. I mean, would you say that even though we are not disciples of Bhakti Maharaj, but the grief was as deep as perhaps his disciples? Did you feel that? I mean, even though he wasn't our spiritual master directly, Diksha Guru,
Yes.
but he was a darling of ISKCON. And I just felt that, I mean, it surprised me, because I just thought maybe, if he's not my spiritual master, it's just, our own experience with our spiritual master, which would bring out this emotion. But I just experienced, I mean, I rang you yesterday saying, can we cancel the book club? Because I don't feel I can be philosophical, I don't have the energy for that. What do you feel?
No, I agree. We couldn't switch off yesterday and do a book club session. It just was impossible to do. So it was a good call to postpone that book club for next week. And no, but both of us were incredibly sad yesterday and subdued. It did hit me. And some personalities have that effect on people.
Yes.
And that's their good nature. That's their spirituality. I remember how we all felt when Gosaiji left. We only for such a short time.
Yes.
The impact he had and the effect he had on us was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you for concurring on that. And
just one more thing.
yes.
Share one more thing. This is quite amazing. I traveled with our own Guru Maharaj in the early years, just within 2-3 years of initiation. So around 88, 89, I went with Guru Maharaj, and he took us everywhere by train in those days, in rail passes.
Yes.
So long stops at platforms, waiting for the next train. On the journey to Ujjain, somebody in the train, people, they start talking on the train. Somebody suggested, asked us who they knew everybody's going to go. They said, where are you going? We said, Ujjain. And they said, Madhya Pradesh is the biggest state in Bharat, India, and yet there's no ISKCON center in Madhya Pradesh. You should set up a center, a temple in, right? That person said on the train, going to Ujjain. Then we went to, I think, the main Lord Shiva temple in Ujjain.
Yes.
And of course, because of Maharaj's stature and the way he stands,
Krishna Das Maharaj, yeah.
Of course, yeah. Krishna Das Swami. The two pujaris start talking to us and escorted us all the way out to out of the temple, just talking very pleasantly. And Maharaj asked them the names, and they gave names of Krishna and Balaram, cousin brothers. But not actually Krishna and Balaram, but like Devakinandan or something like that, or Halada or something. But they were Krishna and Balaram names.
Yes.
They say the same thing.
Wow.
They are pujaris in that temple, which is the Lord Shiva temple in Ujjain, which is the main attraction in Ujjain. And yet they told Guru Maharaj, Madhya Pradesh, Ujjain, you ISKCON devotees should build something here. Years ago. That was years ago, 3 decades ago.
And you know, Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj made that temple in 6 months. It was a
That's
record.
what I would say. And now, years later, Bhakti Charu Swami made that center for ISKCON in Ujjain.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay, now, you know, we put together a video dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Charu Maharaj. So it's Guru Sevak singing it, and there's a video there. It will explain, the video will explain. So, you know, rather than Aarti to Srila Prabhupada, this is the glorification from ISKCON Coventry to Srila Prabhupada and his family. So we will now watch this video, and hope you like it. Yeah. Hare Krishna, looks like we got technical problems with the sound. Don't worry, we'll fix it. And this is all live, and we're dealing with YouTube and streaming, and I'm not really expert on things like that. But what we'll do now is we will bring that video later on anyway. So now we will actually go to the temple now, and Bibu Prabhu and Sachinandan Prabhu are going to sing in memory of Bhakti Charu Maharaj. It's one of the old songs. Bhajan very much liked by everybody, and we sing it on a disappearance day of the different acharyas. And today is also disappearance day of Sanatana Goswami, and we'll mention that a little later. So now we'll go over to the temple to hear the two pujaris. Jai Ho.
Jai Vishnu Thakur ki jai. Jai Anilo Premo Dhanu Corona Procho Jai Anilo Premo Dhanu Heno Prabhu Katha Gela Acharya Thakur Heno Prabhu Katha Gela Acharya Thakur Kahamoro Swarupa Kahasonata Kahamora Swarupa Kahasonata Kahadaso Raghunatho Otito Baba Kahadaso Raghunatho Otito Baba Kahamoro Bhatta Juga Kaha Kohira কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নটরা এক কালে কোথা গেলা গোরা নটরা পাষাণে কুটিব মাথা অনলে পশিব পাষাণে কুটিব মাথা অনলে পশিব গৌরাঙ্গ গুণের নিধি কোথা গেলে পাব গৌরাঙ্গ গুণের নিধি কোথা গেলে পাব সে সব সঙ্গীর সনে যে কইল লীলা সে সব সঙ্গীর সনে যে কইল লীলা সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কাঁদে নরোত্তম সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কাঁদে নরোত্তম সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কাঁদে নরোত্তম সে সঙ্গ না পাইয়া কান্দে নরোত্তম যে আনিল প্রেম ধন করুণা প্রচুর যে আনিল প্রেম ধন করুণা প্রচুর কেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর কেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় পতি পাবন জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর পাবন জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় পতি পাবন জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর
So Hare Krishna. That was wonderful. We don't get to see the pujaris so much, or hear them, and because this coronavirus thing, and so they dedicated this to Bhakti Caru Maharaj. And we would like to know about today. What are we celebrating? It's Guru Purnima, and with us we have His Grace Guru Sevak Prabhu. And what is the day about today? What's the festival? What's the celebration?
Okay, so today Guru Purnima is the celebration for Veda Vyas. And we have to remember that all of the spiritual masters are actually representing Veda Vyas. So when they sit on the asan, it's actually Vyas Gadi. It's a Vyas asan. So it's important to understand what Veda Vyas actually has done for the actual Vedic Sanatana Dharma. And there's actually been 28 Vyases within this particular, I think, day of Brahma. So this one's the 28th. So in every cycle, a Vyas is chosen. So in this cycle, basically, Vashisht Muni, who's actually the spiritual master of Lord Ram, his great grandson is actually Veda Vyas. So his son was Shakti, and the son of Shakti was Parashar. And Parashar Muni had actually done great tapasya to Lord Shiva, to please Lord Shiva, and he actually asked Lord Shiva for a boon that if he can have a son who is a Brahma Rishi equal to Vashisht. Now, Vashisht Muni, those of you that know, is an incredible Brahma Rishi, and they had a whole saga between him and Vishwamitra, because Vishwamitra was a Raj Rishi wanting to become a Brahma Rishi. And so Vashisht Muni is very, very famous. So Parashar Muni had done this tapasya to please Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva actually granted him the boon that yes, you will have your child will be on the same level as Vashisht Muni. So it was actually Parashar Muni was traveling, and he had to cross the Yamunaji, and there was a fisherman's daughter who was in a boat, and she was ferrying people across, and that fisherman's daughter was named Satyavati. And Parashar Muni got in the boat, and as he was crossing, Satyavati was very beautiful. And he asked her, he said, look, I would like to, I guess I'm the great sage Parashar, I would like to have a child with you. And Satyavati was obviously honored, such a great Rishi. And she goes, but there's nowhere for us to actually go. So there was a actual island in the Yamuna, and he went there, and Parashar Muni created like smoke everywhere so that no one could see. And it said that the conception happened and Veda Vyas was born immediately.
Really?
Yeah. And so then when Parashar Muni left, and then very quickly Veda Vyas grew up to an adult. And he said to his mother, he said, I'm leaving now to go, but when you need me, you can call me. So actually in the Mahabharata, it's actually Shantanu, who was the father of Bhishma Dev, after Gangaji had left, and because of the whole Leela with Gangaji, that she was his first wife, had so many children and she was drowning them. And the eighth one, he stopped her and said, what are you doing? Because he'd made a promise to her that she said he will not ask any questions of her. And it was actually after he asked the question, stopped, say, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And it was a fact that there were, was it Vasus? There were Vasus before, and they had laughed at Brahma, and Brahmaji had cursed them to come to the earth. So Gangaji said, you can come as my progeny. And 7 of them she managed to deliver immediately, but the 8th one was Bhishma Dev. And he actually said, oh, you got some more tapasya to do on this planet. So after Gangaji left, Shantanu was obviously very distressed, no queen. And so he actually was, because Yamunaji is very close to Delhi, so the kings always would go there. So once he was crossing as well, and he ended up in the boat where Satyavati was there. And when he crossed, he thought she's very beautiful. And he thought, I would like to marry this woman. And she hadn't told him that she previously had a child with Parashar Muni. Because he said, look, keep this secret. So she kept it a secret. And so with Shantanu, she had 2 sons, Chitrangad and Vichitravirya. Now, one of the sons was very ill, and he actually, one of the sons, Chitrangad, was killed by Gandharvas in battle. And Vichitravirya, he was there, but he was very ill all the time. And Satyavati at that time, Bhishma Dev had taken the vow that he won't be the king, he'll let Satyavati's children be the king. So he said to her, you should go and get, he said to her, you should go to this Swayamvara, but it's 3 years not well. So he said, look, Bhishma Dev, you go instead. So Bhishma Dev went and defeated all the kings in the assembly and brought all of the queens there. And at the wedding, it says at the wedding ceremony, Vichitravirya died at the wedding ceremony. Wow. So Satyavati Mata was so distraught that look, the dynasty won't have an heir. So then she told Bhishma Dev, I have another son, Vyas from before, so you can call him. And when Vyas Dev came, they said he was, and it says that Vyas Dev is the title given to that person that splits the Vedas. So he was called Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. Now Krishna, because his actual body color was very darkish. He was called Krishna. And Dvepayana means that person was born on an island. So he's Krishna Dvepayana Vyas. So he said that Vyas Deva, he has such a powerful persona and he just come from doing tapasya. And when they do tapasya, the sadhus, many times they actually deprive their body so much and the body becomes weak and thin. And he said, Mother, give me some time. He goes, give me a year to get my body into a nice condition where if I have to then give progeny, the queens will accept it. I said to him, I said, I can't wait, do it now. And so when he went into the room, the first queen was so afraid, she just closed her eyes and she gave birth to a son, Dhritarashtra, who was blind. The second one was so afraid and she gave birth to Pandu, who was very pale and didn't stay well as well. And when Satyavati Mata asked the other queen, you should go in again, she hesitated and said to the Darcy, you go in. And the Darcy was such an incredible pure soul. When she went in there, she just humbly, very nicely like that. And she had a healthy baby boy, Vidur. And so this, Veda Vyas and the Mahabharata itself are very combined like that. And it said Veda Vyas himself was so great, he acquired his knowledge from the four Kumaras, Narad, and Lord Brahma himself. This is how incredible he was. And he was said to live on the banks of Gangaji at the actual site where Vashishta Muni's ashram was. So because obviously he's his lineage. And it said that his actual proper son with his wife was Shukadev. So even though he had these children with the Guru dynasty's wife, his proper son was Shukadev. And it says actually even Shukadev Goswami would give advice and guidance to the Pandavas going through as well in places. So
because we're short of time,
what's
Vyas Deva famous for?
So basically he's the author of all the Vedic literature. So the Vedas are essentially one, and then they become split because he made them easier for people to understand. So this is why Vyas Deva, the title of Vyas is so important, because in every age he splits the Vedas and makes them understandable for the time. And it said that in the next Kalpa, Ashwatthama, who's still here, will be the next Vyas.
All right.
So it's a title given. So the Vyasas come and they do. So we're very, very fortunate the Veda Vyasas split them and created so many Puranas, and especially the fruit of it all is Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
And Srimad Bhagavatam is the basis for which the whole Sampradaya and everything is based on.
Yes. So, how do we see the rest of the Vaishnava Sampradayas? So, they are representing Vyas Deva. So,
Yes.
all our spiritual masters. And so today we are honoring them as a representative. So
we're honoring them as a representative of Veda Vyas.
Yes.
Because the gurus, they will only preach the knowledge from Guru Sadhu Shastra. This is what our Guru Maharaj taught us. He goes, with these three things, the Guru will always preach. So Veda Vyas has given us all the knowledge. The Parampara is actually coming down from Veda Vyas. If you look at our Parampara, it's direct initiation lineage.
Yes.
So you can see that the knowledge has been passed down.
But in ISKCON, in addition to celebrating today, they actually celebrate the appearance day of their spiritual master on the day they were born.
Yeah.
So that is a custom, is it? Because some people might, because many people in Bharat, they just only celebrate today as a Vyas Puja. But in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Even Prabhupada said that we actually choose the day our Guru was born, and that is, Avirbhav, and then you have Tirobhav when they leave like that. So it's a celebration. So I just wanted the viewers to know that we celebrate this as well. And in our ISKCON, we also find out the birthday of our spiritual master, and that day we have Vyas Puja. So thank you so much. There's a lot to say in 10 minutes. You've done very well. And, it's very hard to remember all the personalities there in the past. And by remembering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, we are very basic people. I just memorized their names. If you can say Gauranga or Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, you're still saved. You don't have to know all this complication, but some people have the mind for that. Now, we talked about, today is, Guru Puja, or Guru Purnima. And I would like to actually invite different personalities in our yatra, because we have different spiritual masters who initiated, different devotees here. So I would like to, before I do that, we can go to the video. And I think what we'll do is we'll start with Srila Prabhupada's glorification, and Vidhu will come on next, and I'll ask him about Srila Prabhupada's, within 10 minutes of his role as a Acharya, founding Acharya of ISKCON. So we'll have the Aarti video now, which we put together here. Thank you.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandhomoy Savadano Mate Bandhomoy Savadano Mate Yaharo Prasade Bhai Ei Baba Turiya Krishna Prati Haya Hoite Krishna Prati Haya Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakhya Chite Te Koriya Kya Arna Kori Hamane Asha Arna Kori Hamane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Chakudano dilo yehi Janme janme Prabhu soy Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita Prema Bhakti Aha Hoite Avidya Vinasho Yote Vidgaya Haracharita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokero Jivana Ha Prabhu Koroto Yadi Humore Pada Chayo Evoyash Gushukti Bhuvano Due Padilelo Sharano Prabhupada Patite Pavano Jayo Prabhupada 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 Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Guru Maharaj Guru Maharaj Guru Maharaj Jayo Guru Maharaj Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hope you liked it. When we create something like this, it takes time, and the visual and the audio, and this is the prayer we do in the temple to Srila Prabhupada. But now more and more, we are including his disciples and those who are staying with us. They become so dear to us. And somebody did say once they go, that's Srila Prabhupada's first disciples gone, and it'll be the second generation managing it. I hope we do a better job, or let's see how it goes. I would like to invite Vidu Prabhu ji and talk about Srila Prabhupada. Because I won't be able to ask you loads of questions. It's just about today's Guru Purnima. What difference has Srila Prabhupada made to the Vedic culture in the modern times of all other exponents who've come from Bharat? Where Srila Prabhupada stands out more than others. Maybe, what glorification can you say about Srila Prabhupada?
This was a tough one because, where do you start?
Yeah.
Because there's so much to say about Srila Prabhupada. But his contribution is he's removed a lot of ignorance about what Sanatana Dharma is. For me, that was a striking realization long time ago when I first encountered his books, that my God, everybody else who was presenting Sanatana Dharma, it's a bit of information from here, a bit of information from there, but no clear overall picture.
Okay.
Who is who, what is what, and who fits in where. So Prabhupada, through his book, has explained Sanatana so clearly and so scripturally that he's removed all confusion what Sanatana Dharma is. There are some, and he's a very special person. We must recognize this. Prabhupada is a very, very, very special person. And because it's Guru Purnima, and Prabhupada had a guru also, and he was an amazing personality. That was Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. His Divine Grace, Bhakti Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. And Prabhupada met Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj very few times in his life. Very, very few times. But those were very powerful moments for Srila Prabhupada. The most striking encounter one of the most striking was the very first meeting with his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta. And it's Prabhupada's encounters with Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj and how he touched him that made Prabhupada do what he did later in his life to establish ISKCON, to leave the shores of Bharat, India, travel to America and establish ISKCON. So that first meeting, Prabhupada was used to seeing many, many sadhus because his father raised him that way, that any sadhu who happens to be nearby, they invite them and he wanted them to bless his children. So Prabhupada saw many, many sadhus and often he'd be disappointed with their behavior. And then later on, when he was a young adult, his friend was pestering him, come look, there's a special sadhu who's come and I want you to meet him. And Prabhupada kept saying, no, no, no. But the friend was very insistent, persistent. And eventually Prabhupada relented. So they went. They climbed to the second floor of this house where Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was speaking. So they quietly bowed down. And as they were getting up and preparing to sit down properly, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj straight away said, you are educated man. You are educated young man. Why don't you preach the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world? These are first words of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj.
Amazing.
Prophetic. Almost prophetic. This is my mission for you in the future. Take this message all over the world. Another encounter which was, for me, which struck me was that often Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj would when he's in a Pandal program speaking, and this was somewhere in Braj, maybe Radhakund, there was a big tent, and there was a Maharaj was speaking, and slowly the tent emptied. Because it's a long, long pravachan by Maharaj. But Prabhupada stayed till the end. And later someone was speaking about Srila Prabhupada, I forget in which context, but Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj remarked, I have marked him, he likes to listen. I love this. I have marked him, he likes to listen. And remember, Shravanam is the most important thing, is a starting point for Krishna consciousness. Shravanam, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaranam, First thing is Shravanam, how are you listening? Because later on, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj also said something beautiful. He said, open your ears so you can see clearly.
Yeah.
How you are listening and absorbing the information, the spiritual information, will enable you to understand the scriptures and then see things as they are. And the third thing which Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj said about Srila Prabhupada, he says, because another disciple of his was asking that why is he staying outside the ashram? He should come in and move in with the ashram, stay with us. And Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj said again, let him be. Let him be. In time, he will do everything. In time, he will do everything. So this is a meeting of two very special people. And Prabhupada, many years later, began the mission, took that arduous journey on a ship. You know, these days, we jump on a plane and fly across in 8 hours.
Not these days, because COVID-19.
That was like a 2-month journey on a ship.
Yes.
For an old man. So arduous journey, suffered some hard problems. Landed in New York in winter. Winter was coming. One day he woke up and everything was plastered in white because he'd never seen snow. You know, so the whole city was white. So, you know, coming from a hot country, going to that climate. And for a year he was struggling, trying to establish, you know, a spiritual movement, preach the message. And then things started to happen. So it was revolutionary. It was a transformation.
If I had to ask you, Vidya Prabhu, could you list what he gave to the world?
Very good start.
Of the Mahamantra, I'll start you off.
You go, Mahamantra, but I think his primary mission was distribute books. If you ever get money, print books, was the instruction from his spiritual master. So Prabhupada established the centers, made Hare Krishna famous all over the world, but his focus was the books.
No, but I was thinking, you know, I mean, that is for the people who read books ardently, but I would say the Mahamantra, the Jagannath Rath Yatra, right? Janamastami, Diwali, you know, even Guru Purnima. I mean, all the people in the West weren't aware of any of that. And Vrindavan, Krishna, rather, I mean, that's what I meant really. Yeah. You know, it's not that he just chose the books only. Books are the information thing, but he gave the practice, you know, the principles. We should follow them, the shaven heads, the saffron. That's what I meant, you know, for those viewers. So they realize it wasn't just the books and then he didn't do the rest, but he brought the whole culture with him. That's phenomenal.
Yes, yes. He made Hare Krishna famous all over the world. Just the 2 words, Hare Krishna, the whole world knows Hare Krishna. And just because what we are saying, think about many of the pictures we see of Krishna Leela around the world now on TV. Or people use his pictures, the pictures he's made famous, because he personally took interest in what his disciples were painting. He gave them the vision, the direction. I only draw pictures of Krishna, but then he'd edit them, keep an eye on them, saying, well, you know, how they should come out. And these pictures are painted.
And Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's books are translated in many languages and distributed all over the world. I mean, that is significant. That translated and centers have come up because of book distribution. I think this book distribution has been a great success of his, you know, throughout the world.
It is, and it's the books are a key reason for many thousands of people all over the world turning to Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
And joining Krishna consciousness or its centers. And you know, Prabhupada also created what I've written here is an army of spiritual soldiers.
Wow.
From all over the world. Not just the Indians, from all over the world, create an army of soldiers. And some of them are excellent generals. Bhakti Caru Swami was one of those generals.
Yes.
And they have taken this mission forward for Srila Prabhupada. Centers appearing all over the world, we see video footages of this Rath Yatra in somewhere in Russia recently. Maybe it's an old footage, but it's all local people. It's not full of Indians. It's just Russian people dancing very nicely, dressed in their saris, nice tilaks. Sri Swami in Hungary.
Yes.
Indananda Maharaj takes his festival of India all over
Poland. Yes.
European countries. Brazil. No continent is untouched.
Yes. With the Prabhu, we are sort of rushed for time. So thank you very much for that glorification of Srila Prabhupada's works. And now we'll go over to Guru Sevak Prabhu. And he got initiated while he was fairly young. He's still young, younger than me. And maybe a recollection of, do you have any memory of how Srila Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Krishna Das Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada? And what did Maharaj in the beginning do in ISKCON, and various questions I'll ask you. So if you can speak about His Holiness Krishna Das Maharaj, what you know.
So I was doing some research into Guru Maharaj for this, and Guru Maharaj is quite amazing. His path to meet Srila Prabhupada and to ISKCON is probably quite a lot different to most of the sannyasis that came through. I was looking, His Holiness Krishna Das Swami Guru Maharaj was actually born on the 2nd of June 1932. And from a very young age, he left his parents and was raised by his maternal grandfather. And he actually learned Bhaja Govindam when he was a toddler. That's amazing. And by the age of 11, he memorized the whole of the Ramayana, and he was giving classes on it. And by the age of 16, he'd memorized all of the verses of Bhagavad Gita. And even from when we were with Guru Maharaj, when he must have been in his 60s, 70s, he still knew all of the verses of Bhagavad Gita. He hadn't forgotten any of them. And it was...
It's okay.
So he was actually got initiation at the age of 16. And he was initiated in Brahma Sampradaya by His Divine Grace Pandit Tilochan Devji Maharaj. And at the time, he was being trained actually as a preacher, as well as to work in civil service. And in 1966, His Holiness actually came to the West to preach. His own spiritual master had sent him to preach. And he actually, on the 3rd of April, 1966, Maharaj had left Bharat for the United Kingdom, started preaching, and he actually met some devotees and who invited him to Bury Place Temple. And the temple president met with His Holiness Krishna Das Maharaj and was very impressed with him, and actually got him to start giving classes on Sunday, both in Hindi and English, and especially on festivals. And it was during the 1973 London Rath Yatra where Srila Prabhupada was actually there. And I think for that Rath Yatra, Srila Prabhupada wasn't actually feeling well that day. But when he got there, he saw the mood, and Srila Prabhupada danced the whole Rath Yatra. And that's when Guru Maharaj first time saw Srila Prabhupada. And he was so impressed that how is it that this frail older sannyasi is dancing so much that even the youngsters there couldn't keep up with Srila Prabhupada.
Wow.
And Guru Maharaj thought this must be someone extraordinarily transcendental. And so Guru Maharaj had a big desire to meet with Srila Prabhupada. But every time he would go to the doors, the two people at the doors would stop him. And Guru Maharaj once said to them, he said, "You're like Jay and Vijay blocking me." He goes, "But you're lucky I'm not one of the 4 Kumaras, or I'm not going to curse you, don't worry." And then he actually became so frustrated that he wasn't able to see Srila Prabhupada. He actually wrote to Srila Prabhupada saying that, "Please let me meet you. I'm anxious to meet you, having seen you at Rath Yatra, and I give classes and stuff." And Srila Prabhupada instructed his servants, like, "You must let Krishna Das Swami come." Well, he was Krishna Das Swami there. But when he came, then he went to see Srila Prabhupada again, and the people at the door stopped Guru Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada actually had to come and invite Guru Maharaj in. And so that was then when they had their first discussion, and Srila Prabhupada said to Guru Maharaj that you're initiated in Brahma Sampradaya, we're Brahma Sampradaya, it's the same. You come to the West to preach, why not join ISKCON and actually become a sannyasi and preach? And Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj was very impressed with Srila Prabhupada and actually moved into the temple and started into the manor, I think, and stayed there for 18 years. And
but he started in Berry Place.
Yeah, Berry Place was the place he started to do his classes. And eventually Guru Maharaj did take sannyas from Srila Prabhupada and actually became initiating spiritual master in 1987. Yes. And Haridas Prabhu happened to be the first initiated disciple.
And Vidhu then
and Vidhu.
Yes.
And so
how did you meet Guru Maharaj?
Well, I think you're probably the best person to tell me that, because
well, you're my son, so you have no choice.
I must have been very young when I met Guru Maharaj.
But you know, Maharaj used to stay here for 3 months at a time in summer. So how did you feel about that?
Well, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing because looking back on it now, I felt different to how I felt then. When you're young and literally when Guru Maharaj was here for 3 months, it is basically you're on lockdown. So you all the normal things that you would do as an 11, 10-year-old kid, you're not doing. So you're not going out to play, you're not playing computer games or whatever that. But we were serving Guru Maharaj literally day and night. And even at the time, I thoroughly enjoyed serving Guru Maharaj.
Did you get blessed regularly, you think?
Oh, chastisements were plentiful. And I would definitely call it character building. At the time, I'll be honest with you, if I got something right, I would be happy, because 9 times out of 10, you're getting stuff wrong all the time. But I remember even telling Guru Maharaj, sitting in this very room, we were sitting there and Guru Maharaj was watching Ramayan, and it was about halfway through the summer. And I remember I turned to Guru Maharaj and I said, Guru Maharaj, I don't know how I survived the rest of the year when you're not here, because now that you're here, Maharaj, I feel complete. And I remember Guru Maharaj really smiled at me then and just tapped me on the back. And this is the thing, when you're serving the spiritual master, it literally is the best that your spiritual life is going to be. And I mean, Guru Maharaj was so firm and strong in how he preached. And he would always say, don't speculate. If you haven't read it somewhere, he goes, don't make a statement. It's got to be scriptural.
Yes.
So these are the things, and even the various teachings that Guru Maharaj taught us really does attract you.
And when did you get initiated? Do you remember which year?
I wanted to get initiated as young as I could. And I'd always heard that Guru Maharaj got initiated at 16. So I was like, I want to get initiated at 16 as well. So I remember I asked Guru Maharaj at 13, I was like, Guru Maharaj, I'd like to take initiation. And Guru Maharaj goes, wait till you're 16. So I remember I came in the room once, and this was after I turned 16, and Haridas Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj were discussing, and they said, oh, tomorrow you're taking initiation. And I was like, what? It was so unexpected. And I was like, okay, definitely. Yes, please. And so it was 1997. I was 16 years old. So it's going back, 23 years? God, so yeah, 23 years. And it honestly was the best, probably the best moment of my life.
And can I ask you another thing? Do you feel progress? Did you feel that you were progressing spiritually under the shelter of Guru Maharaj?
Oh God, yeah. Well, I think you only progress under the shelter of spiritual master. I remember as a child, I couldn't sing at all. And Sandeepani, my cousin, he was absolutely fantastic singer from youth. And I remember I couldn't sing at all. And I remember Guru Maharaj went around the room once when we were kids, and he was saying, oh, Sandeepani's good at singing, such is good at Mridanga. And when Guru Maharaj came to me, he went, and Guru Seva is also good. And to the next person. And I remember saying to my mother, I was like, will I be good at anything? And I literally remember what happened. When I took initiation, literally a month later, all of a sudden I could just sing. And I remember we did Jayapataka Madhav here. We were recording it. And I came out, and all of a sudden this incredible voice came out. And I was like, where does this suddenly come from?
I mean, you sang in the Prabhupada Guru Vandana. And did you have that voice all the time?
No. It was only after initiation. Before that, I was terrible. I couldn't sing at all. So, I mean, not just the singing side of it, the devotion side of it. And even all the things your Guru Maharaj teaches you, they stick with you. And over the years, you start to see that your attraction for Krishna actually lines up very much with your spiritual masters. That are like, spiritual master always loved baby Krishna. I love baby Krishna. Guru Maharaj always liked Lord Ram. I'm attracted to Lord Ram as well. So it's amazing, actually. You find that your spiritual master, you get most progress under his direct presence.
Thank you so much. So we got other devotees waiting in line. So I would like to invite Tamal Varna Krishna Prabhu to, Tamal Varna, not Krishna. At the end, I just said it wrong. Das. So you got initiated about a couple of years ago, I would say. And so now, did you do a bit of a research? How did Lokanath Maharaj meet Srila Prabhupada, or how did he get impressed, or what? Do you know any of the leader?
Hare Krishna, Danva Pranams. I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to speak on behalf of Guru Maharaj and trying to give that itsy little bit of representation of Guru Maharaj. I mean, I've done quite a bit of research before, and it's so much of it sticks, but and I thank this opportunity to speak on behalf of Guru Maharaj that I've got an opportunity to do more research. So Guru Maharaj, I mean, it was amazing listening to Guru Srila Prabhu and obviously talking about His Holiness Krishna Das Maharaj. His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj got an amazing story because Guru Maharaj didn't actually, when he got into ISKCON, the story originally, Guru Maharaj was studying chemistry, and Guru Maharaj's birthday was actually the 6th of July. I think that makes Guru Maharaj a Leo like me, so that's why Guru Maharaj is so fired up. And this is back in 1971. So Srila Prabhupada used to do these Pandal festivals, these 10-day Pandal festivals, and Guru Maharaj wanted to really meet Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj went to the actual festival, and obviously Srila Prabhupada actually wasn't there. And just by going to that festival, Guru Maharaj didn't have a lot of money at that point, so he brought loads of little summaries of Srimad Bhagavatam and Back to Godhead magazine, and Prabhupada and Maharaj was hooked. Maharaj was absolutely hooked. It got to the point where Maharaj actually scared his family so much that he goes, I'm going to go live in the ashram. So from 1971, Guru Maharaj actually went to go and live in the ashram in ISKCON. Wow. And his family got really worried. And he was just like, oh my God, you're becoming a sannyasi. You know what it's like? You want your kids to become a doctor. Guru Maharaj was going to be a chemist. He was studying chemistry. And so Guru Maharaj actually didn't meet Srila Prabhupada until 72. That's when Guru Maharaj actually took initiation under Gaura Aarti. And from there, when I'm more reading into Guru Maharaj, it's just, Guru Maharaj just took off straight away as soon as Guru Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada. And one of the main things actually Prabhupada mentioned to Guru Maharaj is actually to do the Padayatra festival. That was the first thing Guru Maharaj actually started off. Prabhupada actually said to Guru Maharaj, this is going to be your thing, and I want you to go around and teach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's declaration to everybody in every town, every village, everywhere the holy name will be preached everywhere. And that ties into 2006 World Holy Name Week, Haridas Prabhu, that you've actually been talking a lot about as well. And this is the amazing thing that I read into. So Srila Prabhupada actually really wanted to do the Padayatra walk with Guru Maharaj, but unfortunately he didn't get a chance to. So Guru Maharaj's first Padayatra was, and this is amazing, Guru Maharaj walked from Vrindavan to Mayapur.
Wow.
Wow. And then Guru Maharaj walked to all the big tirthas, spreading Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name and teachings, and Srila Prabhupada's teachings everywhere. Guru Maharaj actually then obviously took sannyas in 1975. So at the tender age of 26. And when I think of myself at the age of 26, and there's me thinking, wow, have you seen how nice my car is and how nice my suit is? And there's Guru Maharaj, you know, who's an amazing scholar, who's learnt the scriptures, who can speak right off the bat of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam at 26 years old. And there's a lot of that I've been reading into how Guru Maharaj used to serve Srila Prabhupada. And obviously it's really sad what's happened with His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj. And there's loads of pictures where Guru Maharaj is with Bhakti Caru Maharaj, and they're helping Srila Prabhupada make roti, and it's so sweet.
Amazing. Now, what attracted you, or when did you meet His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj, and what made you attract to him?
Well, this is the amazing thing. I mean, when I was growing up, the first temple I went to when I was 11 was Gaudiya Math. And when I heard Kirtan, I was really absorbed by Kirtan. And I remember when YouTube was still coming out and people were starting to use YouTube. This was about, I'm 31, so this was a good 11 years ago. So when I was about 20, getting into my 20s, and I heard a Kirtan from Guru Maharaj, that Krishna, Hare Krishna, and I heard it over and over and over and over, but it just said Mahamantra. So I scrolled down and I looked at the subtext and it says, sang by His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj. And I started listening to more of Guru Maharaj's Kirtans. And then from Guru Maharaj's Kirtans, I heard a bit of classes, and I wasn't really attracted that much to the classes because I couldn't understand. But I really got absorbed by Guru Maharaj's Kirtans. And then I was ever so lucky to actually, I'm very, very lucky that I met Guru Maharaj in 2016 it was 24-hour Kirtan. And I remember just sitting there and I was just absorbed with Guru Maharaj. And they were giving out prasad, and everyone knows me, I like my prasad. And I was just sat there, I was just listening to Guru Maharaj. I was so absorbed in the Kirtan. I was just watching Guru Maharaj. I was like, I'm taking darshan. I think of my future spiritual master. I sat there, I was like, I don't think I'm lucky enough, or Krishna hasn't selected me yet to become initiated. And then obviously all the cogs and the wheels came in motion. And yeah, so ever since then, it was just that one little Kirtan that attracted me to Guru Maharaj. Just that one little Kirtan.
And when did you get initiated then?
16th of June 2018.
Okay.
Date, time stamped, remembered right in here.
Now, I'm going to be a little rude and ask you, which is more memorable, when you got married or when you got initiated? Now, your wife
50-50.
is
Both of them.
But,
I'll give a 50% passion to both.
so both of them changed your life, have they?
Both of them changed my life.
Your Guru Maharaj is going to win because your Dharmapatni is also initiated by his own.
So Rita got initiated on the same day as me. So Rita's name is now Radha Rupa Devi Dasi. So we both got very, very lucky to get initiated on the same day.
And the same question again, do you feel you have progressed or the life has become more spiritual since your initiation?
100%. And Guru Seva Prabhu actually said something to me, and it really sat with me. And Guru Seva Prabhu said, he goes, and I ever since I met all the devotees at ISKCON Coventry, everybody's now, I really want to get initiated. I really want to get initiated. And Prabhuji, you know as well, fired up, I really want to get initiated, and how much I was pushing. And Guru Seva actually said something to me. He goes, you will notice the day after you get initiated, them rounds that you chant. And I think anybody who's initiated and everybody who's initiated can remember that the first round that they chanted on their feedback, just silently sitting in the room, and you feel so connected. And since then, I've really tried to keep that within myself. And my devotion was, everybody goes to the same sort of, they flatline and they increase and they flatline. And I feel straight after initiation, it's gone straight up for me because I always struggled to learn shlokas. And now when I read them, I absorb them so much more. And this is all my Guru Maharaj's mercy. Without Guru Maharaj, Guru Seva would say, you can sing even better now that you're initiated. I think it may be a placebo, but hey ho.
Yeah. Did you give him £5 to say this?
I gave him a couple of pennies, yeah.
Thank you so much. We are short of time. It's very interesting to know this. I'm hearing for the first time the Leela of your Guru Maharaj meeting Srila Prabhupada. I do know Maharaj, and I meet him at the GBC meetings every year, and he's very approachable and like Bhakti Caru Maharaj, the same sort of demeanor, approachable, talks and very personal, and has got time for you, not saying, oh, but I've got to go or something, and then he'll nod, and how slowly he leads the conversation. You can ask him a question, and sometimes just doesn't give an answer, So I did ask on your behalf, and he just went, and I was thinking, is that yes or no, So I must say it was a great thing. And he loves Coventry Yatra. And last time when he came on a surprise visit, he made effort to actually come to Coventry. And that was fantastic. Thank you very much. So now we're going over to inviting Pranava Prabhu. And he got initiated a while back. So he'll let us know about his initiating spiritual master, his divine grace, Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Maharaj, who's no longer with us. So he would know how it feels when a spiritual master leaves. So Pranava, when did I think I know a bit of background of your Guru Maharaj. Was it Dr. T?
He is teaching, yeah.
Yes. So now you can maybe enlighten everybody else how your Guru Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, yes, true. It's almost similar lines like Prabhupada has met his Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. He was doing his PhD in California University, and one of his friend, Dr. Rao, he was insisting him to come and see Prabhupada. They have seen ISKCON devotees once when they were walking in the streets, and then they have mentioned that what they are doing, and they all liked it. Maharaj and both Dr. Rao liked it, and Rao started going every day. And then he was insisting Maharaj to come and join him to see Prabhupada and take in instructions. But Prabhupada was little bit, Guru Maharaj was little bit skeptical, because, all the Indian gurus, they were preaching all the, so-called gurus. There are genuine gurus also there, but the most of them who were coming to West, they are not preaching what Vedic philosophy is. So
Yes.
he was a little bit speculative to meet Prabhupada, thinking maybe he is also one of them. And some days passed, and then Dr. Rao said, I am taking initiation from Prabhupada, and he's ready to actually shave his head, and he's ready to wear saffron clothes and go to lab with similar style. So then Guru Maharaj got inspired very much, and then he went, and they both went, and Dr. Rao was getting initiated that day. That's the first day when Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj had the chance to meet Prabhupada, and Prabhupada instructed him, saying, you are all, like especially Maharaj is from Manipur. Manipur is, from Arjuna's descendants, and they are all Vaishnavas. So Prabhupada was instructing Guru Maharaj, you guys came here to learn from these people, but you see, I came here to teach these guys. Why don't you join and teach them? Then Guru Maharaj was very much inspired by Prabhupada, and he liked Prabhupada's way of teaching, and then his Vedic style. That's the first.
Did he take sannyas straight away or shortly after the first initiation?
He met Prabhupada in 70s, Prabhu, and then initiation immediately next year in 71. But sannyas he took in 1981 after Prabhupada passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would that be? Because he was busy with BI?
Maharaj was actually wanted to join full time in the temple, but Prabhupada instructed him, don't do that, because people won't hear you unless you finish your PhD. So Maharaj was busy in finishing his PhD, and then Prabhupada has started the Bhaktivedanta Institute and made Maharaj the director to that. So Maharaj was busy to actually engaging all these noble orators, and want to have one conference before to please Prabhupada. So it just happened just before Prabhupada was leaving in Vrindavan in 1977. So he was busy in that. So that's why I think his sannyas will happen later.
And did he become initiating spiritual master when he took sannyas? Or I think it would be.
So after 2 years, he became initiated Guru after 2 years. He got in sannyas 80, and 82 he became initiating Guru.
And what attracted you to Maharaj?
For me, Prabhu, the only sannyasi Guru I know when I got initiated was Maharaj, because he is the only one who was coming to our city or town, that's Vijayawada in South India. He's the only one we all know. So when we say sannyas or Guru Maharaj, he's the only picture that used to come to our mind. And then obviously he's very good singer, and then all the senior devotees in there, because I'm taking the association of his disciples, senior disciples. So obviously I was inspired to take it from Maharaj.
And Maharaj was very approachable as well, wasn't he? Very gentle.
Yes. Yeah, very gentle. And some devotees say, because he was very much associated with Gaura Govind Maharaj.
Yes.
Govind Maharaj nature and Sripad Maharaj nature, the completely opposite. Like whatever Govind Maharaj feel, he will immediately say on face, and then Maharaj won't say anything for years to care for any mistake that you do. So it was people who were taking association of both Maharaj, they were uh, they were feeling completely different, how to approach them.
Yes, yes. And when did you get initiated? Which year?
I got initiated in 2001, Prabhu. It was almost when I'm finishing my master's degree in Hyderabad. So suddenly I got a call from Vijayawada devotees saying, you have been shortlisted for initiation and all. I was because I was finishing my studies and getting into the job, I was not sure whether I will be able to manage or not. But I know that unless Guru's mercy is there, there is no way we could get initiated, and I don't want to miss that chance. And we happened to go to Bhubaneswar, and on Vyas Puja day we got initiation.
And you sent me some pictures. They're not of you getting initiated, but your god sister. You said,
Yeah, so
my picture when I I don't have a record of my initiation either. Yeah. And how do you feel you progress under your Guru Maharaj? I mean,
yes, I think if that thing might have happened, the initiation before I started my work, like getting into job and all, I imagine I would never had a thought about it to get initiation, because we all become busy after you get into job and get married. Then life becomes so busy, you may not think about all the spiritual things, because of the Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj mercy, somehow it happened that time, and then I was able to take association of devotees and slowly progress. I mean, the progress is very less, but still I was able to progress only because Maharaj's mercy, and I got initiation that time. Otherwise, I don't have any hope. I would have been doing similar stuff other people are doing. And then I know a few devotees who were very serious that time, and they didn't take initiation, and they're no more in ISKCON. So it's all Maharaj's mercy.
so it is very, very important really to have a Diksha Guru, because many people are associating with ISKCON for a long time, but they do not select. They think they got the process, they do the Maha Mantra, they don't want to stress in their life or somebody else telling them about it. I don't know, whatever reasons, but their spiritual progress is slow. And I've seen those who get initiated, humility comes in there. They realize they are Das. The name given is also added like that. So thank you for sharing all that. That was interesting. And it's a shame it's only a short period, but we could have talked more. So I'd like to invite Hansini Sachi Devidasi, all the way from Wales. Yakida.
Hare Krishna, I'm in English Welsh. I don't know much Welsh, apart from Diolch Rhyfeddw. Thank you very much.
That's all I knew. So how did your Guru Maharaj, Mahavishnu Maharaj.
Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj.
Was famous for his kirtans, his accordion, and wherever he goes, he attracts loads of people, to the kirtan. He's really absorbed in it. And so, when did he meet Prabhupada? And do you know a little bit about that?
I did learn it all a long time ago, and then when you asked me to do the interview, I've been trying to read it up. So if I remember correctly, I believe he came to, he read something about Prabhupada, or the information that Prabhupada produced in the 1970s, and then he made his way to London Bury Place.
Bury Place, yes.
And that was in 1971 in January. He met Prabhupada and was initiated in that same year. That quite surprised me, actually. I thought it was the following year, but it looks, what's written down that I've come across is 71. The thing I'm a little confused of, because I don't know all the detail, I'm quite a new devotee really. I don't have the information from the past, but it was whenever the London Rath Yatra was put on, that first one, I think, he worked on it physically, and I think he also added some funds that he had acquired or came his way. But the thing that I remember recently we were asking him about on probably one of the Zoom meetings, I think, I'm not sure, was about his second initiation. I was really eager to know, because obviously he's got his sacred fed, when that occurred. And he told the story of how they were really filthy, working on the Rath Yatra. And probably some devotee came up and said, "Come on, quick, Prabhupada's giving second initiation." So he went off and he was filthy. Anyway, there was some scenario about it, and he really didn't think he was going to be given this initiation. He was asked to clean up, but he had dirty nails, and he nearly got hung for that. So anyway.
Okay, that's good. So when did you meet Maharaj? what attracted you to him?
My tale is a little bit that I've been very, very anxious for a long time, coming across the information of the spiritual information when I was 50, which was 2000. 2000. So I became very anxious after reading the Bhagavad Gita to really take initiation. So I was always searching, but no devotees come past in Wales. I actually did go down to Minikatana in my old town, Bristol, and from that I did some, I think it was, I can't remember, over in the northwest, there was some sort of festival, so I joined Minikatana there. From it, I came across some very young devotees. Sandy Panay, he's now been initiated by Jayapataka, and then Hema Mukhi, she's been initiated by Guru Maharaj, and her brother Radhe. So I was with them, and they were teenage, they were going to university. So in a sense, I copied Hema because I was very attracted to the way her gentleness, and she took initiation from Guru Maharaj. So there was kind of a build-up. There was a couple of things that went on that was like Krishna, like he does, bless him. I really wanted to go and meet this person that Sandy said, oh, he's really nice. He's my favourite speaker from when I was in the Gokula school in the Bhaktivedanta Manor. And this person wasn't present. And I think it was probably Guru Maharaj. Then the next year, I was paid to go join the green gathering with some of my boys, and we had to move house right in that week. I was mortified, but the housing association said if you don't move in that week you'll lose the house, so I had to just lose the opportunity to go to the green gathering. So the next year, 2015, I went to the green gathering and I met my very first sannyasi guru, and I only had a 3-day window. And the second day I went to Sandy and I said, please ask him if I can be his aspiring devotee. I was very fortunate actually, because he listened to my story, which was quite pathetic, especially material side, and he accepted me. And obviously during that time he let me know that I could change my mind and he could too. And I had to do a disciplic course. And that was fun.
Tell them where you got initiated. Make them feel.
Oh, Mayapur. Mayapur. And that was another thing. I was had a little opportunity to go with the Manchester devotees. I think it was either 7 days or 10 days to Mayapur. And there was just this tiny window that I was actually in India. And Guru Maharaj travels all around the world. And he was, I think, based in Australia. And I remember he said that, when I'd actually got through my course, where and when, to get you initiated. And I said, I think that's kind of up to you as a spiritual master. Anyway, there was a situation where I said, do you think Krishna could very kindly make you come to where I am, because I'm useless at trying to orientate myself to get on a plane to get to Nepal and do these clever things. I need a lot of guidance like a child. And so in the end, he did manage that. Things just worked out that he couldn't go, I think, to Indonesia. And he ended up, and he came to Mayapur and he initiated me. Well, you were there with a god brother whom
And Gaura was there. Yes,
which was really funny because Guru Maharaj, when I said that I go to Coventry, he said, stay with Coventry, Hari Das will be your guide and so will Gaura Hari. And so I have done just that. So thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And then do you feel your progress more, or were you doing the same or what, because everybody's sharing their experiences?
Everything's gone very fast, but I pushed myself tremendously hard because I knew I'm getting older and I've been very slow in coming here. I would have loved to have come very early on, like Prabhupada and all sorts. So yes, Guru Maharaj is very kind. He's very funny on the surface, but terribly serious underneath. So, absolutely focused to the core, which I like because I'm so nervous and I always try to do things perfectionally, but Krishna's wonderful. He smashes everything I try to do to bits, and in the end I just laugh because I've got nothing else to do and I make so many mistakes. Guru Maharaj allows me to have that side of my nature, which is quite bizarre, but also it helps me to if you like, bring my character together and make progress. I think if somebody was too serious with me, I'd probably just quake in my boots in the corner and I wouldn't achieve anything. But also he's very kind, because when I want to do something that he's not really fussed about me doing or even directing me to do, he supports me tremendously, you know.
It's very
So
nice.
he's
And
been
it's always
brilliant.
a joy to
Thank
see you
you.
in Coventry. You know, you came and you cleaned the dishes and set up the Aarti and did first Prabhupada Aarti. You know, you learn the Sanskrit verse is difficult for you, but you keep trying and you really do put hours into it. So, you know, thank you very much for sharing, you know, your experiences and about your glorification of your Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. So now,
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
thank you so much. Ravi Tej, Krishna Prabhu, all the way from Milton Keynes. And you know, your initiating spiritual master is?
Swami Jayapataka Maharaj.
Jai Ho, the lion of ISKCON. And do you have any information on how Maharaj joined ISKCON and met Srila Prabhupada?
Yeah. Jayapataka Maharaj, when he was in US, born in US with the name John Gordon, and at the age of 19, Jayapataka Maharaj was once walking through a park, and he noticed some of the devotees who were singing the Harinam Sankirtan and distributing books, and one of the devotees was showing the Back to Godhead book to Jayapataka Maharaj, and Jayapataka Maharaj suddenly got all different set of vibrations, and he was unable to bear that emotion or that vibrations at that point, and he immediately run away from those Sankirtan or devotees away, like he was unable to bear that one. So like and later on, after going there, he was feeling the missing of their association, and again he come back to the park and was looking for those devotees, but he could not find those devotees. And later on, after some months, Jayapataka Maharaj come to know about the Rath Yatra, and Jayapataka Maharaj went and attended the Rath Yatra. There, Maharaj got the association of the devotees and the local ISKCON temple, and in 1968, Maharaj got opportunity to meet His Holiness Srila Prabhupada and get the association with the Prabhupada.
Very nice. And I think I'm told that, what was it, Jayadev, who made the Rath card, the first one in San Francisco, and when Jayapataka was wandering around, and Jayadev was like a saint. He is an ISKCON saint. So he invited Maharaj, and Jayapataka Maharaj says, "Oh, could you help me with this chariot we're building?" Jayadev. So that was an incredible story. That gave him service straight away. And you know, what can I say about Jayapataka Maharaj? With all the challenges of physical health, and you know, his thinking is always very clear. Never talks about his illness. Always caring for other people who are suffering, and the recent event of Bhakti Caru Maharaj, you know, he shared that he was in anxiety when he heard Bhakti Caru Maharaj was going to go to America, and his last speech, he said, "I didn't sleep all night thinking, looks like Prabhupada is calling him." He said he was in some sort of ecstasy when he said all this. So, you know, Maharaj, you know, has difficulty in speaking, but there's always somebody repeats the things. But his clarity is there, his depth is there, and he's very, very inspirational. And I remember when Premanji wasn't well, and Jayapataka Maharaj actually remembered her, the service she does and everything, and said we would like her association. So I find that he is very personal, you know, personal guru, you know, and you're very, very fortunate. So when did you, what attracted you to your Guru Maharaj?
While I was in London with the devotees from East London, Bhakti devotees like Arvind Krishna Prabhuji, His Holiness Arvind Krishna Prabhuji actually gave me the opportunity. He instructed us that the Jayapataka Maharaj was coming to London, and he gave the opportunity if I can join for any service. Then I was very overwhelmed, and I requested service to the Prabhuji, and I got opportunity to meet Guru Maharaj personally, and to also do the service. Like I spent almost like overnight trying to serve with other devotees while instructing me, like able to serve Jayapataka Maharaj in 2014 and 15. At the time, like I got similarly association with Jayapataka Maharaj.
And did you meet other Maharajas before that, or and Jayapataka Maharaj was the first sannyasi guru you associated with?
I met I met other Maharajas as well in when I was in India, in Bangalore.
Yes.
But Jayapataka Maharaj, Guru Maharaj was very special, and by getting his association and by knowing himself itself was very what you call as touching for me. Like by just listening when my senior devotees were talking, I felt like means it's really pleased with the when I was in associating listening about Jayapataka Maharaj.
Yes, yes. And when did you get initiated?
With the help of Haridas Prabhuji, yourself, and with the Prabhuji and all the ISKCON community devotees. Like though I was not qualified, I got initiation in 2019 November. With the other devotees, with other senior devotees like Satya Mataji, Satya Damodar Mataji, and Prem Prakash Prabhuji, and Isha Madhavi Mataji, and with my wife as well, Madhura Sita Devidasi. I got initiated in 2019 November.
And where was the place? Which temple?
It was in the apartment in London.
But it didn't feel like an apartment. It turned into a temple because Maharaj was there.
Yeah.
I remember that feeling. It was the atmosphere was, I was impressed, you know. There was an altar, Maharaj was wielding, and you forget the apartment.
Yes, true.
It wasn't so spiritual.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Maharaj is there, like the temple came there. It looks like temple.
And the strange thing is, we all had to put masks on. You remember?
Yeah.
And I remember putting it when I came out there. I goes, oh, that'd be terrible to put a mask on and go around. And then COVID-19 comes, and every time I put the mask on, and I see the people, I'm thinking, even in Mayapur, when Maharaj comes, everybody has to wear the mask.
Yeah.
And so Maharaj, knew this was going to happen. So he was giving training to everybody, I think.
Yeah. Even Maharaj, like many times, like he was doing different services in ISKCON, like in Mayapur as well, and other places. And Maharaj was like means in 1974, Maharaj initiated the Navadvip Parikrama, where like all the devotees throughout the world will come and visit all the 9 Navadvip, where Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and all the devotees performed pastimes, and it's a great celebration from Maharaj, and also Maharaj is inspirational for many services.
Yes. And you know what? This big temple which is being made, there is going to be like a Madame Tussauds type of planetarium, 20 projectors and all that. And so as I go every year for the meetings there. So they had one evening, they set up a mini kind of theater for that. And what's going to be on the top of the temple is going to be bigger. So we went in there, and who was heading it? It was Jayapataka Maharaj heading this project. And I was thinking, if anybody's ill or something, they don't get involved in big projects, but not Maharaj. He was there, patron of such big project, and he took Indian citizenship, long time ago, and he's traveled all over the world. He was the most, in Guinness Book of Record, most traveled sannyasi, and still is, and servants go with him, and he remembers people, and he's always progressive. And and even now, every evening there's classes live, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Even now, also, like at this time, in the COVID time, where devotees unable to travel and visit Maharaj, Maharaj is never away from the devotees. Every day, devotees are getting live status darshan and also classes from Maharaj. That's really means it's really means blessings from Maharaj. At this point, like he's taking all the efforts to try to preach Krishna consciousness and reach all the devotees every time and to connect throughout them. And I remember Maharaj once mentioned about the preaching. He was actually means he mentioned one time about, like, in one of the speeches, like Maharaj mentioned, like, I was not having comfortable body. I was stuck, something like that. And he was saying that Narada Mahamuni is having a great body, and that body is really helpful for preaching. That's really wonderful. Normally, for people like me, like, we got bodily concept on thinking on how good or something like that. But Maharaj's consciousness is only on the preaching. So Narada Mahamuni, transcendental body, which is helpful for preaching taking Harinam throughout all the spiritual world, material, means all the lokas, like that. Jayapataka Maharaj also, like, wishing to get means utilize the body, whatever the available comforts to in the preaching. That's really means it really motivated and inspired me a lot.
Very, very inspirational. Now I believe your Dharmapatni also got initiated. What's her name?
Yeah. Madras Sita Devi Dasi.
Yeah, and how's she feeling? Fired up?
Yes, probably. Because of the, truly speaking, before initiation, we were associating with getting your blessings and getting service from the ISKCON Coventry, and we are happy doing those services and getting. And while we were discussing, there was discussion on how the life, actual spiritual life starts is only after initiation, and it actually whatever you mentioned, it actually is true. Previously we were doing some trying to do some services on behalf of Guru Maharaj, but currently now, whatever the services we do on behalf of Guru Maharaj, we are actually connecting, we are actually feeling very much aspired and very much connected to the Sampradaya because of the initiation, and it motivated us to do little bit services under your guidance, Prabhuji.
And your children, you're the eldest one, he's remembering shlokas and things. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He came the other day, and so you're doing very well. And Maharaj always encouraged people to preach. So you have set up some sort of Zoom, conferences, isn't it? You're inspiring other people to join, and maybe you could tell, devotees a little bit about that.
Yeah, with the inspiration, we like Tarakaho Krishna Upadesh is mentioned, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Maharaj mentioned many times that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned, whoever you see, you try to give them the Krishna Upadesh, and it's like you become the guru to teach the spiritual life. It's not the qualification, or it's not the expertise which is required, but basically you give the Krishna word to them. That's the only inspiration we got to serve Guru, and we started Harinam every day at 6 o'clock. So it's like though I myself, I know, I'm not can't play any musical instruments or sing properly, but still, to whatever the friends and circle here, at least I thought of taking Krishna name to them, and with that association, at least I will get more Krishna name to hear, opportunity to hear, and inspiration. I started that one, and it went on success, going on from a couple of almost 4 months. And now also, with the guidance and the help of you, started the Bhagavad Gita class as well for children, and that is also in the service of Guru Maharaj and Krishna. It is also going good. Though they are, we are trying to give a small bit of Krishna consciousness, or ISKCON, introducing ISKCON to them. But it is really we are pleased to get the service provision.
Thank you so much. That was very, very interesting. Now, what we'll do is I'd like to thank all the devotees who have expressed, their emotions, their progress, glorified their gurus on Guru Purnima Day. It's absolutely fantastic. I hope you all enjoyed it and got inspired and realized that life does change after initiation. It's very, very important item. And Vyas Deva ji is being represented by, so many sampradayas. He wrote Puranas, the Vedas, and we should read these books regularly, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many books available. So Srila Prabhupada worked so hard day and night. And then books were distributed. We become devotees. Let's take this culture to everyone. And I think it's time now to glorify the Lordship. It's Gaura Aarti. If everybody's ready, we can go over to the temple and, do the Aarti. So we'll come back after the Aarti to make some announcements. Thank you very much.
Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aroti Kasho Chanavi Tata Bahu koti
Namayom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Namayom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunnavani Asatadi Shatari
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunyavani Vasyapyadi Shatari
Jai Shri Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta
Jaya Shri Krishna Shivasari Gaura Bhakta
Jai Shri Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakti
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakti
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Namo Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Namo Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radha Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari,
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari
Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Jai Anita Chan Jai Anita Chan
Jai Anita Chan, Jai Anita Chan,
Jai Anita Chan Jai Anita Chan
Jai Anita Chan, Jai Anita Chan.
Jai Sachinandana Jai Anita Chan
Jai Sachinandana, Jai Anita Chan.
Sachinandana Jai Anita Chan
Jai Sachinandana, Jai Anita Chan.
Golo Goda 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 Hari
Gaura, Gaura,
Goda 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 Hari Raghunandana Raghava Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare
Nandana Rama Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare.
Raghunandana Raghava Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare
Raghunandana Raghava Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare.
Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare
Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare.
Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare Siya Rama Hare
Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare, Siya Rama Hare.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
So now we'll do the Singadev prayers, and especially dedicated to His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj and others who are not well, Premanjri, and you must know some of the other devotees or relatives who need special prayers. So we're going to do the Singadev prayers, and afterwards we will actually show a video of Bhakti Caru Maharaj. He's got shots of him in early years with Srila Prabhupada, and it's a lovely song. So we'll be showing that. And then there'll be some announcements. So hope you enjoyed the satsang of today. So Nrsingadev prayers.
Shri Nrsingadev Bhagwan ki jai. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Shri Bhagwan ki, Bhakti Prahlad ki, Srila Prabhupada Guru Maharaj ki Jai, His Holiness Sri Bhakti Caru Maharaj ki Jai. Go Brahmande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramhans Paravaracharya Stotra Sachishmas Divine Grace of Boy Charanavinda Srila Prabhupada Pandacharya Viskan Srila Prabhupada ki Niviti Pandacharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramhans Paravaracharya Stotra Sachishmas Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Anant Kori Vaishnav Vrind ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Sri Vrindavan Dham Mathura Dham Dwarkadesh Dham Yodhya Dham Damdip Dham Mayapur Dham Jagannath Puri Dham ki Gangamai Jamunamai Saraswati Devi ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Radha Kund Sham Kund Giri Govardhan ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavind ki Shri Radha Gokunanand ki Shri Radha Madhav ki प्यारे जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा की साचिनंदनिताय चांद की सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय हो हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की भगवद गीता की श्रीमद् भागवतम की चैतन्य चरितामृत की श्री रामायण की सनातन धर्म की भारत माँ की गौ माता की इस्कॉन कॉन्वेंट यात्रा की इस्कॉन वर्ल्ड वाइड यात्रा की गुरु पूर्णिमा महामहोत्सव की Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled viewers. All glories to the assembled viewers. All glories to the assembled viewers. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So thank you very much for taking part in today's program. And I think we have a video about His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj. Somebody has put it together, and I think it's available to come on. So Shravan Prabhu, away you go.
Jayanilo Premadonna Karuna Prachu Eno Prabhu Kotagila Achajataku Eno Prabhu Kotagila Ahamora Swarupa Kahasonota Ahamora Swarupa Kahasonota Kahadasa Raghunatha Patita Pava Kahadasa Raghunatha Patita Pava Kahamora Patanjuga Kahakavira Kahamora Eka kale kotagila puranata ra Eka kale kotagila puranata ra Eka kale kotagila puranata ra Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Ya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur.
Jai Ho. So, watching those scenes, we're going to miss His Holiness Bhakti Caru Maharaj so much. And I was just thinking, the way we did this satsang this evening, we got to continue doing that. And these great personalities, with their mercy, they've trained us up and given us the empowerment as well. And all we have to do is, chant the holy name, read the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramayana, carry on doing all the festivals, stick to the 4 principles. And, it's a little difficult to visit people's homes, but this way is the outreach, which we are doing, and we must continue to do so. And ISKCON will continue to grow, and Srila Prabhupada's dream will be fulfilled. And for the next 10,000 years, Vaishnavism will be all around the globe. Already it's had a great impact. So thank you very much for viewing. And I would like to now hear some announcements for this week. And also what plans you have for Janmashtami. Is there something for that? If you can tell the viewers so they can look forward to watching that. And I think also they would like to know when the temple is going to open. Maybe we have a statement on that. You could enlighten people about the policy on the visiting the temple. So over to Anuragi Devi Dasi.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So we'd like to thank all the viewers for watching on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live. So we managed to stream via both platforms. And thank you for all your comments. I can see all the comments that have come in, encouraging us with these programs. There was a message going out to Abulbir Bittu in London, who is the uncle of Anil, who is in hospital at the moment. So the nourishing of their prayers also would have gone out to him. So thank you for letting us know. If you do have any prayers to say for your loved ones or any relatives or family who are unwell, just post your comments in the messaging box, either on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll pick them up from there. Thank you. So please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Krishna of Vrindavan, and our Facebook page. You can follow us on Facebook. ISKCON Coventry, Twitter, ISKCON Coventry. Thank you for all your support. So our stance on COVID-19, the temple is still unfortunately closed due to being such a small space. We are finding it difficult to incorporate a system where we can comfortably social distance safely. So a lot of our members are very vulnerable. They are in the elderly stage as well as with underlying health issues. Only essential work and volunteers have been going to perform essential work on pre-arranged visits. So other than that, it's not open to the public, we're afraid. So we are planning a Janmashtami festival online via YouTube and Facebook Live. So the media team will be getting together and putting together an interesting lineup. So please do watch this space. If you do have any donations that you would still like to give to support the temple, so people have been, thank you for those who have been sponsoring for birthdays, anniversaries, and they've been booking online pujas. And we've had an unprecedented ceremony. We have another request for one of those, and a house blessing. So these can be done virtually online. So you can book via our website. It's www.krishnaavrindavan.com, and there is a page there where you can send in your online bookings for sponsoring Bhoga or Aarti, worship of the deities, and also booking your pujas. So we are looking at installing a new camera. So we will eventually, hopefully, have live deity darshans, daily aartis that you can watch just like Mayapur TV. And that's all for now. I think.
But you got to thank Shravan, the producer,
Oh,
and the cameraman.
So we always forget, actually. Thank you for the technical team for helping behind the scenes. There's a lot of Prabhu on the cameras, and Shravan Prabhu, who's doing, the back end of the work, and organizing. Thank you to all the interviewees as well. So all the interviews who have come on talking about the glories of their Guru Maharajas, and it's been so nice to listen to and so nice to hear and share this Guru Purnima program with you all today. So please do join us same time, same place next week for our live Sunday program at 4:30. Please do share and forward on to others. Until next week, thank you. Hare Krishna.